Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Film is Okie Dokie. My name is CJ, and joining me, as always, is that damn scoundrel, Tommy.
See, I never know. There we go. I never know.
I did that on purpose this time.
What do we do here?
Oh, and this is the show where we are going to peer into the soul of an auteur and examine a film for its many of vices and virtues, both virtuous and otherwise.
And today we're looking into the whole of Jeff Bridges.
That's right. Jeff Bridges, our second time looking into his hole.
And will it be the last time we look into his hole? I'm not sure.
All right, quick. How many other Jeff Bridges movies can you name right now?
Okay. We got The Big Lebowski, right?
Okay, that have not been on the show.
Okay. We got the Tron movies, right?
Okay, sure. That counts as 3, I guess.
See, here's the thing. Jeff Bridges and Kurt Russell are like the same person in my mind.
I don't think they are, but...
No, they're the same person in my mind. So it's really hard. Everything I think of with Jeff Bridges, I just immediately think Kurt Russell. Oh, he's the bad guy in Iron Man.
Okay.
I'm
gonna count Tron as 1.
What? But he's in Tron and Tron Legacy. Those are different.
I think he's in Ares too, but I'm still only counting it as 1.
Wow, that's kind of messed up. I think that should count as 3.
Like, if you said Sam Jackson was in Avengers, I'm not giving you 18 credits.
Well, we wouldn't be playing this game with Sam Jackson because he's in 18 movies in the same.
All right.
Series. So,
how about I split the difference? You say 3, I say 1. We'll call it 2.
Okay. All right. We got Tron and Tron 2. We got Big Lebowski. We got Iron Man. Bad Times at the El Royale.
Okay, that's 4.
And what's that one? That's the comic book R.I.P.D. Yeah, R.I.P.D.
All right, that's 5. All right, you got 5.
I don't think I can name any others.
Okay, I think I can do 5 more that you didn't name.
Okay.
He was in Okay, now hold on. He was in The Men That Stare at Goats. Remember that movie?
Not really. I mean, I remember the trailer.
He was in Surf's Up.
Okay.
You remember that movie?
I remember that movie. I did not know he was in it.
He was in The Golden Circle, Kingsman.
Okay. Sure. Did not see that one. I just saw the first.
I think he was in The Last Unicorn.
No clue.
And I think he was in Wild Bill.
I believe you. Don't know some of those, but hey, we'll chalk this up as a win for CJ and the game CJ came up with.
How about I fact-checked everything that you said, and you're just like, yeah, no clue. What a great podcast performance we're putting on here.
Well, hey, first off, you were fact-checking while I was listing mine?
Yeah, I was Googling it.
So that means that you were looking up Jeff Bridges movies right before attempting to list Jeff Bridges movies?
No, I Googled, was Jeff Bridges in blank for the ones I didn't know.
Okay.
To be fair, I knew most of them. You took most of my answers. I had never seen the El Royale movie.
Ah, that's a good one. That's kind of topical to today because that is a movie that is not a Coen Brothers film that really feels like a Coen Brothers film.
Oh, that's a good point. And speaking of Jeff Bridges and the Coen Brothers, have we said the name of the movie yet?
No, we have not.
Wow, we're really bad at this. We're watching True Grit today, and before anyone just straight up pauses the podcast, I want to say something. This movie, to me, is not a Western so much as it is a Coen Brothers film. That is always the feeling I got from it. And Not to say that it's a bad Western, because I think it's a good Western, but it's always felt more like a Coen Brothers movie than it has felt like, oh, someone trying to make a Western. So, if you like the Coen Brothers, I encourage you to listen. Don't be turned off. And also, I think this will be the last Western that I suggest for a while.
Now, I feel like we have you on record saying that after the last Western.
What was the last Western? The Searchers? How many have we done? 3?
Okay, let's go back.
We can do this.
The Quiet Man does not count as a Western.
That's correct.
But
The Searchers does.
The Searchers does.
And so does
I'm
Tombstone.
scrolling. Tombstone. So we've got Tombstone. Is Wild Wild West a Western? I mean,
Yes, but I didn't put that up.
Okay.
I don't like that it's a Western, but I'm not going to genre gatekeep, I guess.
Right now, you're averaging about one Western every 10 episodes or so. So about every 4th or 5th film you're picking, you've been going with a Western.
And I feel like that's 10 episodes, or more than that, because we usually have guests on that belay the picking of me picking episodes.
Don't worry, I factored those into my numbers.
Oh, okay, good. That's why you're the scientist.
I'm the math. Yeah, I'm the bookkeeper. I'm the bookie of the pod.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Speaking of keeping track of things, we've been keeping track of your challenge for the month of October.
Which
and
is
we
over,
just have,
thank God.
Right. We have a bit of housekeeping to do on that.
Right.
So when we last spoke, you, and again, to recap for everyone, CJ for the month of October watched only, like, TV and movies, sports aside and live events aside, CJ limited himself to watching only free TV and movies, things that he could watch on a free service or online for free, like if it's a movie offered for free on YouTube, but not just watching regular YouTube. That's what he was limited to. And his goal for the month was to watch 8 films he had never seen before. He could watch other stuff he has seen before, but any films,
free.
Yes, if any of them were not free, then you would incur a punishment, which is one film of mine and Jade's choosing that CJ has to watch. Now, when we last spoke, we had one guaranteed punishment, and you had also completed your 8. But there was a bit of discussion whether or not the 8th one counted, because it was just like the long episode of Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo.
Yes.
So we had said it might be prudent of you, CJ, if you wanted to, play it safe, to watch another thing if our audience found that Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo didn't count towards your total.
All right. So I did watch something else, and it is not.
Damn it.
I know. But I am committed to watching that now. That is going to happen. However, I kind of had like a little saga going on with this. I kind of screwed up.
What? Okay.
So, for me, the challenge ended midnight on October 31st. Fun fact, my neighbors went to a wedding that night, which was a costume-themed wedding, and the bride and groom got married at midnight on October 31st.
Wow.
Which to me means they got married November 1st, which kind of defeats the whole point of having a Halloween party. But everybody who came was in a costume.
Okay.
But like a dressy costume.
Gotcha.
So like you could be like, you couldn't like show up as like sexy Cinderella. You had to be like,
you had to be sexy Cinderella dressed up nice.
You had to be deluxe sexy Cinderella.
Yeah. Or like you couldn't show up as Batman. You had to show up as Batman
cat.
With a suit and tie. Right. You had to be a cat with a suit and tie.
So like my neighbors were like creepy clowns.
With a suit and tie.
Yes. So first, I was like, okay, I need to watch something, but I don't have a lot of time. So on the 30th, I didn't really want to watch anything, but I was like, I'm gonna watch this because it's short and surely it'll count. And so I watched something, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna write down what I watched. I had a little app, that little note in my phone of what I'd been watching, right? So I wrote it down. I watched the fucking Trouble in Tokyo thing again.
What?
So this was the 30th, okay? So now it's the 31st. Now I'm down to the wire.
So at what point did you realize you had rewatched
The
this?
next day when I went to put it in the app, I was like, this seems familiar somehow.
Oh my gosh.
I know. My memory is shit sometimes. So then I was like, okay. I'm on Tubi, and I'm like, okay, what are my options here? So I watched, on YouTube, I watched Return of the Joker, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. But that was another short-ish movie. It was like an 80-minute movie. And I'm like, all right, has the same problem. I should have looked at the runtime before I got halfway into it. But I finished it because I was enjoying it. Then I'm like, okay, no more fucking around. What am I going to do to get myself out of this mess? So then I was like, all right, I'm going to throw myself at the mercy of Tubi. I'm going to pick something at random. And so I just scrolled around in the app until I landed on something, and then I clicked it. And I said, the only way I'm going to back out is if it's horror.
Uh-huh.
And so I picked Norbit. Which I remembered halfway through when I got to the water slide scene, I had already seen Norbit.
Oh my god.
So I watched Norbit for nothing, and then...
Wait, there's a sequel to Norbit called Norbit for Nothing?
No, I watched Norbit for no reason. And then I was like, okay, I literally now with intention have to just pick something that I've never seen before. So, with only 2 hours left, I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The really gross-looking live-action one. With Megan Fox.
Yeah. Oh, not that. Oh, not hell yeah. That's the Michael Bay one?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about the one from the 90s.
No, I love that one.
Oh my god.
You want to play Buck Buck?
So
yeah.
how was the TMNT experience?
Honestly, I feel like it was a self-punishment, my own journey. That I really just don't know why I did this to myself. Any of it. I hate that movie. That movie's awful.
Yeah, but your guy plays Raphael.
Oh, the guy from Reacher?
Yeah.
He was also in Laser Team, the Rooster Teeth movie.
The thing I most know him for, the thing I most know him for is Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, was he, I forget his name. He had his own movie with that character, right?
Thad Castle.
Yeah.
So he didn't have his own movie, but the movie sequel to the show was like the rise of Thadland. So it was, it still had the regular main character of Blue Mountain State, but his character's name was in the title of it.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, I'm like, you sure he didn't have his own movie? It was named after him.
Yeah, it's just named after him because his character is central to the plot.
Got it. Well, anyway. Yeah, so
in all, you watched 8, 9, 10. You watched 10 things. One of the things you watched twice.
Yes.
So you technically watched 11 things that you hadn't seen before.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Wow.
So I feel very protected and covered. I feel like between Return of the Joker and the Tokyo thing, which I watched twice now,
Yeah.
and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm well covered. And honestly, for watching Norbit, I feel like I at least deserve praise.
I think that you have your bases covered.
So then realistically, it's just the one punishment. Because I unfortunately did not watch Eddington.
Ah, damn.
I know.
And I'm guessing your rental has lapsed by now?
It has, but I've been doing some Christmas shopping lately, and I've been choosing the slowest option, because, spoiler, this is like the beginning of November. And I've been getting a ton of free digital gifts.
Oh.
So I'm going to use those to do Amazon rentals, yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm going to have the chance to rent it again, I think, if it doesn't come out on streaming soonly.
Okay. Well, would you like to know what your one punishment film will be?
Really quick, can you recap the all of the movies for the audience? And
Yes.
then I'll accept my punishment.
Yes. So, all of the movies that CJ watched. First, I'll go through all of the ones that counted, and then there's also the doesn't counts. So the ones that counted were Open Season Scared Silly, Flight, London Has Fallen, The Replacements, Focus, Pale Rider, The Help, Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo, Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and TMNT. CJ also attempted to watch Shutter Island, but DNF'd it. And then you also watched, but did not count, of course, Norbit, Ella Enchanted, Trumbo, Forrest Gump, 2012, and then, of course, the one film that you will be receiving punishment for is watching Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four?
Yes.
Which one?
You watched the new Fantastic Four.
Oh,
You rented
that's right. I thought that was my punishment movie.
No. That's the one that earned you the punishment.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, I screwed up on that one.
Would you like to know the punishment film?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So
there were some guardrails in place so that it's a movie I would actually watch, right?
Yeah, of course. Now, I think that in spirit with the challenge, it's only right that the movie that you are forced to watch is also free to watch. And wouldn't you know, the official YouTube channel for this movie uploaded the movie in full for anyone to watch just up on their YouTube channel.
That does
CJ,
not seem like a positive. Go ahead.
For your punishment, you are going to watch Killer Bean Forever.
What the fuck is Killer Bean?
Killer Bean Forever.
Okay, what the fuck is Killer Bean Forever?
So it is a animated action film made pretty much just by one dude that he released in like the 2000s. I think this is like a character that he had done a short, like web shorts for back in like the late 90s and early 2000s. And then he ended up pretty much making this movie all on his own.
Okay.
And it's an animated action film where all of the characters are coffee beans or anthropomorphic coffee beans.
Is this that meme bean thing that I see all the time?
Yes. So this is a really big meme film. If you look at it on Letterboxd, like everyone who watches it rates it 5 stars. Like people are big on the meme of it. And it has its moments.
So you've seen it.
Jade and I have seen it. Yes, we watched it. We of course did our 9 where we like pick a bunch of films and we eliminate some and watch one, and we ended up randoming this film. We watched this one. I want to say it was at the start of this year. Yeah, it was in January of this year. And we watched it and we were hooting and hollering. It was we had fun with it, but I'll be curious how you end up liking it.
Okay, well, All right, thank you for that. I
Yeah.
appreciate the idea that this is also free.
Of course. And I'm going to check back in a week to see if you've watched it. Maybe we'll talk about it in the post show. I've already added it to our notes.
All right. Well, hopefully I'll have made time to watch it by then.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Well, I'm never doing this again, by the way. But
why not?
Maybe next time you'll do it. I don't know.
Okay.
Look, I wanted to do it because accessibility is important. But I got it like that. I can afford Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
I guess what are your big takeaways from doing this? What have you learned in doing this challenge?
There is good stuff on there. I think the biggest thing for me was finding stuff I had not seen before.
Mm.
The other thing is, and I'll call this like picky kid syndrome, there is this phenomenon where it's like, yeah, I mean, look, it got to a point where, the, how do I picky kid syndrome, right? Where, oh, look, there's all these things there's all these things to eat, but I don't want to eat any of them right now. Like, there were so many things to watch, but I didn't want to watch any of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I found for free was a Twitch stream of just Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love that show. I used to watch that show for hours. But what I didn't remember was that I never sat there and watched it like a sport. I never watched it intently. I watched it while doing something else or playing with something else or whatever. I had it on in the background. And I watched that show intently for about 15 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I have my fix now. So it was just hard to find, like, okay, I want to watch this in this moment. And that's part of the problem with some of these streaming services is now I can watch any show that I want at the touch of my fingertips. Right? I can watch all 40 seasons of The Simpsons, any specific episode I want, right the fuck now, and there's no delay, right? My wants are now instant with my ability to get what I want. Exactly what I want, and I don't have to wait. So, it kind of ruins that sort of like, oh, what's on TV kind of mentality, or I'll watch this. So getting back some of that was kind of fun. But at the same time, there would be like tons of things I'd be willing to watch, but it's like, I just had a long day of work. I don't want to sit down and watch like Ken Burns baseball.
Yeah.
Like there was just some times where it's like, it's just not the right time for this. So it's definitely doable. There are enough free things. And there are plenty of things that just didn't fit the bill for what I do. Like, for example, all of Star Trek and Star Trek The Next Generation plays for free on Pluto. You can just turn that on, and oh, you're watching it. So, like, there's good stuff. I love Star Trek, So there's great stuff on there. It's just, are you in the mood to watch whatever episode of Star Trek is on right now?
Right.
And so some takebacks. Ultimately, I'm glad I did it. And if nothing else, I hope that if you're out there and you're like, feeling the need, like you have to cut the cord, you can do so and not feel like the fear of missing out. And there's a good rotation. There was plenty of stuff that came and went while I was doing this. So
yeah, and worst case scenario, you'll always have Killer Bean Forever up on YouTube for free. So. Mm-hmm.
This challenge did not take into consideration any of the YouTube stuff that I consume.
Yeah.
Which I also learned pretty quickly, not as much as it used to be.
What, the amount of YouTube you watch compared to other things?
Yeah. Like subscribed YouTube channels.
Uh-huh.
I think I learned that my creators, I was willing to wait longer and longer for them to upload. And then that turned into the creators I actually really like watching only upload like 2 or 3 times a year now. So, not that that's a problem. It's just, oh, like I don't go there looking for their content anymore.
Right. And, at that, really, there's only one channel that really is the one most worth watching on YouTube anyway that you wait for, and that's twitch.tv/ or youtube.com/tomatoanus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Summoning Salt. Have you heard of him?
What was what was it?
Summoning Salt.
What's that?
Oh, don't worry
Is this like
about
cooking? Okay. Well,
I actually have something else I wanted to mention.
Okay.
Speaking of things you can't pronounce, how about Victor Wembanyama in the NBA?
You nailed it in the not being able to pronounce it. Yeah, he's nuts, man.
He looks like he's playing against little kids. I'm not talking like kids that play basketball. I'm talking like he looks like he's playing against toddlers.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know basketball, I just want to put this in context. He's 7'6", I think. He is in his second or third year, I don't remember. But he went up against Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is 6'11", okay? Anthony Davis is an NBA champion. Anthony Davis has a Defensive Player of the Year award. He yammed on Anthony Davis like he was Bugsy.
Yeah,
like Bugsy Bogues. Like
he's genuinely like he's like Wilt in that he's just of a physical caliber that no one in the league is even close to. Though I do want to say, in his most recent game, he was held to 9. He didn't even have any stats in the double digits. He did. He had 9 points, 9 rebounds, pretty paltry compared to the rest of the season so far, where he's been feasting at like 30 points, 20 rebounds almost.
That's true.
So we'll have to see. It's early, but yeah, he is ridiculous right now.
Yes, we have never seen someone his size move like him. He has handles.
Yeah. He's 7.5 foot point guard. Like,
when you walk into someone who's like 6'6" or 6'7", you look up and you're like, oh my God, that's a really tall dude. He's a foot taller than that guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're a tall person. I think to most people.
Yeah, I'm kind of tallish. Yeah, like 6'1".
Yeah, like, you're like the height where people will start being like, oh, you're tall. Like, if you were 2 inches taller. If you were 2 inches taller, they would be like, oh, your nickname is Tall Tommy. Like,
well, I wouldn't go that far.
It doesn't take very much. We have a guy at my office who's tall Fred, and he's only 6'3".
That is such a bad nickname. Tall Fred.
Well, to be fair, there was a Fred already when he got there.
So then he became Tall Fred.
Yeah, well, we were going to do young Fred and old Fred, but you can't do that.
But you can't do that.
Did I do that? No. So, a little bit of basketball talk. I've never seen anybody like Victor Wembanyama. Nobody has. He is a freak of nature. And he also talks a little bit of that shit. And that makes it a lot better.
The thing I love about him is like, he just, it's first off, it's fucking crazy that the Spurs drafted him. Like, they go from one silent legend in Tim Duncan, who has one of the most storied careers, just this, but like storied, but at the same time, very quiet in his dominance. And then you draft shortly after Tim Duncan retires, Victor Wembanyama, who seems to be like almost the same thing. Like, he is a very quiet, collected individual. He reads a ton. He's like, he was interviewed about his time in Las Vegas, and he was just talking about like how dystopic it is with all of the advertisement and stuff. And it's like, this guy talks not at all like your typical NBA player. Like, this dude is plugged into like an entirely different subset of interests,
Mm-hmm.
I just hope he can remain healthy. You know, guys of that size are always scary in the injury department. I just hope he can stay healthy, and as he ages, he's able to find ways to stay productive, because he won't be able to rely on that explosiveness forever, you know.
You know, there's another player in the NBA right now who's a giant, who's a year older than Victor. Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
And,
Chet Holmgren, baby.
And Chet famously went to the finals last year with the Thunder and won. My favorite thing about Chet and Victor is they fucking hate each other. That's what we need. We need some giant beef. We need some guys that play big too, man. Like, yeah, it's really cool that Victor Wembanyama shoots like 30% from 3, which is insane, by the way. That's really cool. But you know what's cooler? The fact that he can go from basket to basket with 6 steps.
It's just gross. It's like, how are some humans built like that, man?
How are you meant to defend that?
Easy. You lay down spike strips.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta get a coach to be on the podcast and tell us how do you stop. You can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him.
Exactly.
Got to come up with the Victor rules. But yeah, no, that's my basketball break for the week. Apologize to all the non-sport fans. Also, go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls. That's it. We don't have to say anything else about the Bulls. Let's go Bulls.
Beep beep. Bulls are 6-1. Beep beep.
And their only loss.
Who else? The only loss?
The Spurs.
Yeah, our guy Victor Wembanyama. Who, did you know Victor Wembanyama actually is in 2010 True Grit starring Jeff Bridges?
Really? Where?
Oh, you know what? I misread Victor Wembanyama. I meant to say Matt Damon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Haley Steinfeld.
No. She's.
Did you know she's biracial?
She's the ball compared to him, man. She's tiny.
The ball. I love it, dude. No, she is. She is though. She's like 13 in this movie.
Yeah, and I remember her being nominated for the Oscar at that time.
Yeah, that's why I have no concept for how old she is. Because I'm like, how old is she? Well, I saw that movie when I was in the 10th grade or the 11th grade, excuse me. So that means I was 17. So she's not even 30 yet.
No, she was born in the same year as myself.
Yeah, don't remind me. Gross. Yeah, so that's the movie we're watching today.
Yeah, so CJ, how many times have you seen this one? When was the last time you saw it? When did you first see it?
This is usually, for me, this time of the year, like a November, December rewatch.
Okay.
I don't know if I rewatched it last year. I'll tell you that True Grit, the John Wayne film, because this is a remake, both are based on a book. This one is more faithful to the book or the story, and the original is more faithful to John Wayne as an actor, which is not saying anything of any kind. But realistically, I've probably seen this movie a dozen times.
Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably not the Coen Brothers movie I've seen the most, though.
I'm guessing that would be Oh Brother.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah, by a lot. That's probably my favorite. Or it's in the top 5 of my favorite films of all time, so. I just love showing people that movie. And it's like 90 minutes, you know? So like you can cram watching that movie in anywhere.
Now, you bring up the runtime of that film, and I know that True Grit itself is also under 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure so was The Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
Are all of the Coen brothers, like their joint films, under 2 hours?
I don't know that to be true, but if you told me it was, I wouldn't balk at it.
All right, I am looking. Oh, all right. There's an IMDb page made 12 years ago, so it might be a little old, of Coen brother films by length. So I'm looking, and I think I feel like the only film on here, or only film missing. Let me do just a touch of research to fully flesh out this list. Coen brothers filmography. Okay, so their two longest films are...
Is Hail Caesar one of them?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Their two longest films are No Country for Old Men and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah, and Buster Scruggs was a direct-to-Netflix one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, would you believe me if I told you those two are the only two over 2 hours?
I would, actually. But
And
that's
at
crazy.
that, No Country for Old Men is listed at 2 hours and 2 minutes. So without credits, it's under 2 hours.
I do love that they have short movies.
Very tight.
It feels like restraint. Because you watch Old Country. Do you think Old Country is a short movie? I don't want to think about it that way. I think about Oh Brother that way because I've watched it so many times. But it doesn't feel short when you watch it. It feels very purposeful when you watch it, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's, especially having seen how the Coen brother films fare when they work independently, I think that, the runtime is just one little example of how they complement each other in pulling back the extremes to which they are, more, they have a higher tendency to lean into when they're working solo, If you look at like their solo projects, each of them kind of have a deal. One of them is a lot more goofy than the other, so it seems when they work together, they're able to really hone in and focus in on what they're making.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
So True Grit, you have seen it a dozen times. I have seen it just the one time in theaters. I was 14 when this came out, so I was seeing a lot of movies at the time. I don't remember too much, but though I do remember a handful of scenes. I do remember how it ends and the my dad talking about the final scene, the final showdown or whatever, even before us going to see it because he was a fan of the original.
Yeah.
And I know that the original is such an iconic scene in the history of Westerns. Oh, really? You're on the side of it?
I mean, yeah, but like, have you ever seen the original?
I think I've seen it, and it's pretty goofy in practice, pretty goofy in execution, right?
Well, we'll talk about it in the post show, but the actual shot is very tight, and the clearing that they found to do the shot for the wide is really small. So it's a little bit of trickeration, but go on.
No, I didn't have too much else to add. I'm sure that as we watch this, I will remember a lot of the scenes as they as they play out. I've always confused this movie with 3:10 to Yuma in my mind because I feel like I saw both of those in theaters around the same time, and they both have Christian Bale in them.
They don't.
Oh, who's in this one then?
Josh Brolin.
Oh, okay. See,
normally.
No, I don't. No, see, I think that just speaks to how little I remember this film. I thought Christian Bale was in this one.
No, so actually, I don't think that the modern 3:10 to Yuma is good. I actually think that's a pretty bad Western.
Okay.
You're
wrong, but okay.
I really okay. I've only seen it the one time. I'm also okay being
the
wrong.
one time in theaters.
No, I didn't see it in theaters. My dad got it for free from Blockbuster when they closed.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one right there, if I do say so myself.
Wait a minute. I'm the leader of this here outfit. I say when we're finished, we're finished.
So before, I guess I don't have too much else to add to True Grit going into it. Did you?
I guess that I think that the real thing that this movie does really well, that I guess as a seed plant, for the audience, in case you haven't seen it, or to frame the conversation that I want to have in the post show. This movie does revenge, I think, in a very brilliant way. And that's all I have to say about that.
All right. I am jotting that down for us to talk about later. Were there any predictions we wanted to make going into this?
Is this a ears wide open type of prediction?
Yeah, let's do that. I have seen it. It's been a while, so
I think that you will like it. And I think you will like it more now, 15 years removed from the first time you've seen it.
Okay.
Because
right.
it came out 15 years ago at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, or maybe not exactly. I think it came out like December of 2025, but by the time this episode comes out.
Well, sweet. Well, how about we get to it and we get to finding out whether or not you're accurate on that.
All right. Well, then there you go. All right, everybody. If you would like to join us for the companion audio track that accompanies this podcast, we are going to sit down and watch True Grit in its entirety. You can find that in the description below. We're going to give you the sign for that in a second. If you would like to just keep on listening to this podcast, you have to do nothing. The podcast will keep on going. If you'd like to stop and join us for the companion audio podcast, please click pause right now.
I misjudged you as well. I extend my hand.
You don't need to narrate what you're doing, guy.
He's from Texas. He has to. The law.
I take your hand. I shake your hand. I wave goodbye. I ride away. Should I stay or should I go?
Go now.
So I did a quick Google.
Yeah.
And this rope thing, yes, it was a commonly believed myth that it would help deter snakes to put the rope around you, thinking that the snakes would not like the feel of the rope if they slither over it.
Riveted for your pleasure, snakes do not like.
Ha 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 ha. Oh my fuck.
You can use that if you'd like. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Film is Okie Dokie. You actually haven't left. We left. We came back.
Well, some of you might have left. Some of you might have left.
Some of you might have left, but thank you for welcoming us back. And yeah, it's been not a week. We're actually on an accelerated recording schedule. No comments on the accelerating.
It's been like 4 days instead of 7.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I thought that was significant, but okay.
Yeah, we're crushing it this week.
Do you remember when we used to record on Saturday mornings?
Yeah, we only did that for like what, maybe 3 or 4 episodes.
That was tough.
Oh man, but maybe we'll see. It's been a bit since we've evaluated this soon after watching. Maybe our film analysis is going to be a little more on the raw side here. Maybe it'll be a bit more. Maybe it'll be a bit more tender. Who knows?
Well, it's fun. It's fun. I'm excited. We can't do this all the time, obviously, but I'm into it. So.
Sheesh, you don't have to sit here and tell me everything you're into or not. I don't need to know.
All right. Take it easy. Keep it in your pants. So, what have you been up to?
It's been just a couple days, so not too much. Jade is out of town this weekend, so watched a few movies last night. Might be hearing about a couple of them later on.
Oh.
But no, haven't really gotten up to too much. Just playing a lot of Tavern Keeper and working. How about you, CJ? How you been? Have you been keeping busy? Have you been maybe filling some time by watching some Killer Bean Forever at all?
I have not watched Killer Bean Forever just yet.
Damn.
I know. What did we record on Wednesday this week?
Yes. Usually we do Tuesdays.
Yes.
So I think, yes, this week was Wednesday.
Oh, because
So,
I had
this is like 3 days of analysis. Whoa.
I
we're
had
extra raw.
I had that meeting that started at 5
Yeah.
and went until 7, which was fun.
Well, here we are. The film is okie dokie at our rawest.
Okay, you're going off topic really quick. When you were an office person, right?
Yeah.
You worked in an office setting.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to take meetings after 5?
No, never. Not unless I was like in the field for something, but typically never.
In the field, okay.
Like if I was at a landfill, you know, if I was doing construction related stuff or measuring stuff. But no, typically it was 5 o'clock, hard out.
Like you're done.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like we have that, but it's like sort of like the client picked this time and they really want to talk. Like,
Unless
okay.
it's because of time zone differences, I would just be like, well, if we were open, then that'd be perfect.
So the person who scheduled the meeting, her time zone is she was in Central, but the client and me were both in Eastern. So we took the meeting at 5. I just feel like, you don't do meetings after 5. I feel like that's the unwritten rule.
I mean, I would say it's even less than an unwritten rule. We're not open we don't work after 5. Of course we don't take meetings after 5. That's very written.
One of the key players was still working because of time zones, but still. And I don't begrudge her.
Sounds like that one person could maybe be a bit more flexible for everyone else involved who's in a different time zone.
No.
Yes.
We're not dogging anybody.
I'm dogging that person in the central time zone.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I know. Stop. We're not dogging anybody. Okay.
I am dogging them.
Stop it. Are you happy with the person you choose to be?
Yes, I'm very happy because I would never schedule something in accordance to someone else's time zone. I'm very happy with the type of person I am.
But it's funny. You, in your current role, have tons of situations that prop up where you are taking meetings at weird hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I've taken calls at like 3 a.m. before to talk to a dude in France.
We did, when I was helping you, we did one where it was like, okay, this is starting at 2 a.m.
No. I know exactly the one you're talking about. We were working with someone based out of Slovenia, and we started at like 8 a.m. Eastern.
No.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no. Don't go Midwestern on me, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
That shit, that's for the birds. That doesn't work on me.
I can pull up that group, I'm sure, and find the exact time.
Still be in the group.
Why would I leave the group?
What do you mean? Why would you leave the group?
Why would I leave the group? I'm in Discord groups from years ago that I've never. I don't go digging through Discord messages to leave things.
That's odd.
I don't think it's very odd. I just don't.
I know you don't think it's very odd. That's why I'm proclaiming to you in this moment. That's odd.
I just don't. I just don't housekeep my Discord DMs. I don't know what to say because who knows when it's going to come in handy, like this very moment when I have to prove that this call that we did was not at like 2 a.m.
You said housekeeping, your Discord DMs.
Yeah.
You know Shuli, right? Our mutual friend Shuli.
Yes.
She has 999 unread Discord messages.
That's disgusting.
It is despicable.
Why would someone do this?
See, you two are the opposites. It sounds like you two would be birds of a feather, but you're actually opposites. Because you're saying, oh, well, you know, why would I go back through and try and figure that out? It's like, no, but her, she's like, oh, I got overwhelmed by the number, so I just left it.
So I understand that. I understand getting overwhelmed by the number. I personally, like, I don't have all the 999 popping up, right? I have my notifications clear, but like with email, I get that. It's like, yeah, there's 1,500 spam emails sitting here. It's daunting. It's real daunting. Side note, I do have the exact time that we did that call with that person based out of Slovenia. You want to guess what time it was?
3 a.m.
Nope, it was 11 a.m. Eastern.
No. I'm talking about the portal video.
The portal video? Why would before I go looking that up, because I can find that too.
That was late.
Why would the portal video, the video where we worked with someone based out of America, why would that have been a 2 a.m. call?
I don't know.
Okay, now I gotta hunt down. I was looking up the ones with
You can bleep it if you want. What was the one you were thinking of?
I was thinking of Hitman 2 with Loris based out of Slovenia.
No, I remember that one being very reasonable.
Yeah, that one was very. All right, let me find. Oh, jeez, I'm telling you, it wasn't at 2 a.m. I know that for a fact.
You've done calls at 2 a.m.
Yeah, of course, because I am amenable to other people's schedules, as a good Midwesterner should. I shouldn't schedule a call at 5 p.m. just because that works for me, as opposed to, you know, maybe some people I need to work with who might be out of work at 5 every day.
What do you say?
What am I saying? I'm saying that person shouldn't have scheduled that call.
We're not throwing anybody under the bus.
I'm dogging that person.
We're not dogging anybody.
Bow wow wow. I'm not sure if we had a group message for. I'm having a hard time finding this portal group message now.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Sanitation. All right.
See, you know what's funny is I have all of the groups that you were a part of because you left all of them at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
But
somebody
no,
went back and wrote in one of them, and I was like, this isn't what we're doing.
Oh, you know what I can do? You know the easiest way to solve this is I just look at the recorded call for that video and I see what time it shows on my desktop.
You keep all the recorded calls
Yeah,
on
of
your
course.
desktop?
Not on my desktop. I have them saved on my server.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, that
I
one
don't
was
know how-
at 10
I
a.m.
don't-
Central. Also,
was-
that one was just me and the runner. That one, you were not on the Portal 2 call. I don't know what you're talking about. You were not on that call that you're saying you were a part of. Then the other call for my other Portal video, that was at 5 p.m. Central, and you were also not on that one. So I don't know what video you're misremembered as 2 a.m. because it
There
never
was
happened.
a call at 2 a.m.
It didn't happen.
I was late. I remember.
Well, so let's go back. The one for Super Mario Odyssey, that was at 11 a.m. The one for Hollow Knight, that was at 4 p.m. I don't know, CJ. I don't think that this 2 a.m. one ever existed.
Are you gaslighting me?
I'm not gaslighting. I'm looking up all the cold hard facts.
Facts that nobody but you can see.
I mean, if you would like me to screen share, I can show you all of these dated.
You'd
timed
like that,
stuff.
wouldn't you? You would like that, wouldn't you?
I would love that. The point stands. I'm dogging that person.
No, we're not dogging that person. Okay. It happened. Anyway, Wow. I don't know how funny that was to everybody else. That was very funny to me. So you've been playing Tavern Keeper. I watched you play that game recently. You've been enjoying that?
Oh my god, yeah. I'm a huge fan of Game Dev Tycoon, and this is their second game they've ever made. Greenheart Games is the name of the studio. And it's just a casual sim, kind of like game dev, but it's you're running a tavern, and it kind of reminds me of Prison Architect. That's the one that it's most similar to in my experience. And it's really good. It's in early access, so there are only 3 scenarios / regions you can open your tavern in out of the planned 6. So I've already kind of blown through most of the content that they have so far, but there is still like the free play and all of the sliders and everything to mess around with. So I'm enjoying it. It's scratching the same itch where I'm like, half the fun of Game Dev Tycoon for me was like, I'm going to start a new game company and we're fart games and every game has a fart pun to it.
You did that? No.
Yeah, I know, right?
Get out of town.
Shocking. So there's still, of course, all of that I need to fully take advantage of. All my fart drinks that I need to sell, I should say.
Farting in it made it good.
Yes, farting adds the flavor. If your drinks haven't been farted in, go to find a new fart tender.
Did you order a drink that wasn't farted in? You might be entitled to compensation.
Exactly. And you can tell. Some places say they fart in them, but they don't. You can tell.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
If you had to give somebody an episode of this show to watch, to fully understand the show.
Yeah.
In one episode, what episode are you sending them?
I think I'm going to send them the episode that we release 3 from now. I'm just calling my shot. That is going to be our watershed episode. That is going to be...
That's when we all pull it together.
That's going to be the high water mark.
That's the high water mark. Okay.
Yep.
So
3 episodes from now.
It's funny. We were talking about potentially scheduling that episode earlier, and talking about potentially having that be a guest episode. So,
well, actually, that would be 4 episodes from now.
Oh, is it gonna go?
Well, I mean, it really depends on our guest schedule. So,
well, I guess so.
You guessed so?
I guess so.
For answering your question for real, I mean, it's hard to say because we've released so many to this point and over such a long span of time since it's that 2 a week. So, some don't stick out quite as strongly in my head. But, I mean, I feel like Armageddon was a really strong episode.
Armageddon?
Oh, yeah.
Woof.
What about you? What are you picking as of right now?
Man. I think that the Muppets Christmas Carol is a really good opener. But let me look at the whole list here. You actually sent me a list. Yeah, the Okie Dokie Letterbox list. Jurassic Park was the second movie we watched?
Yeah.
Man, the Batman episode is really good. Heather's was really good.
7-hour episode.
Yeah. If you like watching me be in pain, Meet the Feebles is peak for that.
What a good episode. What a good movie.
No. Don't.
Oh, yeah.
The film one of the only films I regret watching.
Wow. That's messed up of you.
No.
How could you say that about Meet the Feebles?
If Peter Jackson were here right now, I'd say to his face.
Whoa. Rude. Well, Peter, shuffle away. CJ doesn't want to talk right now. No, Peter.
I'm scheduling this meeting for 5:00.
Oh, there you go.
Speaking of 5:00, We watched True Grit.
Yes, the movie that infamously takes place exclusively at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes. And the whole movie, you know, it was an interesting critique, or I guess parody, of High Noon, in how High Noon has all the clocks around and it progresses in real time. This was like satirizing that in having a clock in every scene stuck at 5 o'clock. I felt like I was in Fallout, to be honest, with all the clocks not moving.
Yeah, crawl out through the fallout, baby.
Which, can we talk for just one moment? All of the clocks in the Fallout world are stopped at the time the bombs dropped. You're trying to tell me no one has fixed a clock in 200 years? What's up with that, CJ?
All the clock repairmen died.
I guess so. But like, we can have the fucking hydroelectric Hoover Dam running, but we can't figure out how to fix a clock? Are you shitting me? Huh?
They all chose to go back to sundials.
Maybe. I guess so. Or they all have the digital interface of a Pip-Boy, I guess. Always pissed me off, this clock thing.
They're like, why do we need analog clocks?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Let's be radium girls. Okay.
But True Grit. CJ, how did we like this film?
Well, I don't know how we liked it. I very much enjoyed it, as I usually do when I watch this movie. Like I said, I've seen it a dozen times. You've said you saw it in theaters and then haven't seen it since.
Yes.
So I guess I'm really curious how you liked it.
You know, it's so interesting. The Western genre. Would you, I guess, maybe that's a question for later, how much of a Western you consider this. It's, you know, the Western genre is so tough for me, and very few movies are able to escape the gravitational pull of my distaste for Western. It's really hard. And I'm not sure I can say this movie really succeeds too much in escaping that gravitational pull of my distaste for Westerns. Because this movie, this ain't a Western, baby.
Hey.
I like this movie. This was a good one. This was a good one. I enjoyed it.
It is good. Yeah, no. It really, I think I said this in the pre-show, so I don't mind saying it now, but this movie to me always feels like a Coen Brothers movie as opposed to a Western. And it can be both, right? But I don't sit down and watch this and like be like, oh man, I'm watching a John Wayne, you know, I'm not watching Stagecoach, I'm watching you know, I'm watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing funny in a Western. It's all incidentally funny. Or
you're trying
like
to tell me
hokey.
that you're trying to tell me that kicking a man and him flying into the air with a big old drum sound effect ain't funny?
Boom. I mean, it's funny, but not for the reason that they wanted it to be funny.
You're trying to tell me the big drum for comedic effect wasn't intentionally funny?
I think Charlie McCory is really funny.
He is. I do want to bring that movie up as well. But yeah, no, this is a very funny movie, like very intentionally funny in a way that isn't like a schlocky, goofy 1950s humor that I was kind of alluding to. Like just genuinely funny at times.
Yeah. And you have had the benefit of basically the worst Western we've seen is Wild Wild West. But the movies that I've brought, because you asked to see Wild Wild West, the movies that I brought were The Searchers, True Grit, and Tombstone.
I'm CJ. I only bring esteemed westerns to the table. I wouldn't bring the schlock that's wild, wild west.
Why did you become Benoit Blanc?
That's you. That's what you sound like. That's my CJ impression.
God, that's awful.
That's exactly what you sound like.
You hate me. God. Oh, you know what? This is actually, not to go backwards. Is there a movie or a type of movie that we haven't had on the show yet that you really want to have on the show? Because I was talking to a coworker who's a big movie fan, and he said, have you had a Kurosawa film on the podcast? And I said no. But I think that'd be really fun to do. But if we were going to do one, we might do Seven Samurai, and that's a 3.5 hour commitment.
Yeah.
And at that point, we might as well just watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. We would definitely need to pick and choose which Kurosawa films, since most of them are over 2 hours. Or at least like a lot of the ones that are revered. Like we would probably have to do like Yojimbo, since that's under 2 hours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know if you have like a really cute answer. I would like to do another Muppet movie at some point, like Muppet Treasure Island, or I don't know if there's another one off the top of my head that I think is really funny. Maybe just the original Muppet movie. But yeah, I don't know if you have an answer for that.
I would. Were horror something you were interested in? I would definitely be picking a lot of horror films for us to watch.
I do think, and we've talked about this, I do think it would not be the worst thing in the world to like sub me out so that we could do a horror episode or two. You know?
No, yeah. See, but then CJ ain't here, and that's half the fun, is that CJ's here.
I know.
I think if anything,
maybe I could like be here for the pre and the post, but not watch the movie.
Yeah, but I would want to be able to watch the movie with you, because that's the whole reason for the show, is us watching the movies together.
True, but I'm never going to be able to watch the thing.
Right, but that's setting the bar a bit high, because that is so perfectly in the wheelhouse of what you don't like. But
sure.
like, I could see over time dipping a toe into the water and easing our way up through horror, like maybe doing something, not saying we would do this, but doing something like in the lines of like a older horror film, like Psycho, right? Like that's much more palatable or like Rear Window, or
I like Rear Window,
stuff like, older stuff. And maybe we can kind of start tackling the horror genre, if any, tackle it kind of, what's the word? Chronologically, in that we cover some earlier stuff until you feel a bit more comfortable with it. Because, a lot of, like, recently we rewatched the original Halloween, which is just one of my absolute favorite films. But it came out in the 70s, and...
Does it have Jamie Lee Curtis in it?
Yes, and she was actually cast as a throwback in a Nepo Baby move. She was cast in a throwback because her mom is in Psycho.
Yeah.
So... like, the original Halloween is one of my all-time favorite films. It's incredible. But it came out in 78, so it's not as effective in terms of, like, sheer horror. Is it still scary? Yeah, it is one of the best films I've ever watched in terms of creating an atmosphere of horror. But it's not like any of this, like... it's certain people, when they die, like, their eyes go big, bug-eyed, cross-eyed, right? Like, it's not quite as like gruesome as a movie today.
They turn into like, the judge from Roger Rabbit.
For real though, like that, a couple people when they die, they do that. They make a funny face, eyes cross-eyed.
When I killed your brother, I talk just like this.
So I think that covering something like that might be more humorous or you might be able to like, see through the horror a bit. I think
Yeah.
that would be my approach, if at all. But it would have to be a slow going. I'm not
Yeah.
going to like start overwhelming us with like, this week we're watching this one. Now that next one we're watching this old horror. Then we're watching this old horror. It would be a very slow thing.
I've never seen in totality, but I've seen like basically every scene from The Shining.
Oh, and that one's just so incredible.
Yeah, no.
Like one of the best movies ever.
I'm open, and I said this when we watched Sinners. I'm open to watching horror if I'm like, I just don't want to be scared to be scared. But I'm open to watching horror if I'm gonna walk away and be like, oh, this is like a cinematic ad, Like this movie does something interesting. You know?
Yeah, 100%. And personally, like that's what I seek out in horror. I watch a lot of like schlocky horror that's just like for the fun of it. Yeah, but my favorite horror films are the horror films that do more, like Halloween, The Thing, Hereditary. Like these are films that you walk away taking something away from, as opposed to like, we watched it to get scared and feel scare and horror. Like we wanted the adrenaline pumping. Like I'm not an adrenaline junkie like that. I'm with you. Like it should be contributing something to the conversation. It should be more than just a cheap thrill.
Yeah, it should be, hey, this movie does something interesting technically or story-wise, or it should be a standard bearer, or it should be like Sinners. Like, am I going to deprive myself of an experience that other people have told me that I will really like because I don't want to quote unquote be scared, Yeah. So
I'm with you. I think the scariest thing I've seen in movies though,
is Matt Damon's tongue.
Oh no, that was the opposite of scary. That was tantalizing.
Sounded like Sylvester. Suffering Thuckatath.
He did sound like Sylvester. No, I was going to say all the frozen clocks, and it scared me just because it reminded me how you have every clock in your house frozen at 2 a.m., which is the only explanation I can think of for why you thought that Discord call was at 2 a.m.
Oh, God. All right.
But
all right.
Getting back
this is
to
the
movie.
Full Circle episode. Put that in the fucking description.
Let's talk about True Grit. Let's get into this.
So,
CJ.
all right. Yeah. Let's recap it. Okay. So, this is a film by Joel and Ethan Coen, the Coen brothers. It's based on the book True Grit by Charles Portis. This is the second film adaptation of this movie. There is an original 1969 version of True Grit, which won John Wayne an Oscar in what a lot of people believe to be the Lifetime Achievement Award. That movie was John Wayne, Glenn Campbell, and Kim Darby, for those that are interested in watching that. It is thematically different. But there are there are 5 key players here, okay? There are 5 key actors that you have to know, and everybody else, we're just going to say their name, okay? We're just going to call them by their character name. So, Haley Steinfeld plays Maddie Ross. She is the main character in the movie. If you go back and watch the 1969 movie, it's more about John Wayne than it is about Maddie Ross. She hires a U.S. Marshal, and his name is Rooster Cogburn, and that's played by Jeff Bridges. Okay? Matt Damon plays a Texas Ranger named LaBeef, which is, I think, some of my favorite comedy from out the movie.
Sorry, is his character your favorite comedy, or the fact he was named LaBeef? And the fact that there's like LaBeef, because I got a lot of comedy out of that.
He just in general, like Matt Damon I don't think does comedies anymore, but this is the funniest role I think he's done. Josh Brolin is Tom Chaney. Tom Chaney killed Maddie Ross's father, Frank Ross. And so she hires Rooster Cogburn. LaBeef is already in pursuit, and the trio form an unlikely party to go after Tom Chaney, and that's played by Josh Brolin. He has fled into the Indian Territory. And the only other character you need to know, Barry Pepper plays Lucky Ned Pepper, which I think is interesting. The Pepper. Lucky Ned Pepper is a outlaw who has a gang that operates in the Indian Territory. So the reason the sheriff can't go after him, the reason that the town law can't go after him is because he went into the Choctaw Nation. So you need a marshal to go into the nation and go bring him back, right? So those are the 5 key characters that you have to know. That is Rooster Cogburn, played by Jeff Bridges; Maddie Ross, played by Haley Steinfeld; Matt Damon plays Texas Ranger LaBeef; Josh Brolin plays Tom Chaney; and Barry Pepper plays Lucky Ned Pepper. A few other honorable mentions. You pointed this out. I was wondering if you would notice. Domhnall Gleeson plays Moon. And he has a small part in this movie. And
yeah, it's like almost a cameo with how little he's in it. Like it's like the one scene.
It is almost like a cameo. However, I don't think he was at a point where he was interesting or famous enough to be
totally
having a cameo. Fun fact, the son of Brendan Gleeson of Banshees of Inisherin and Harry Potter fame.
It's one of those small roles that has turned into a cameo with his success after the role.
Sure. And then, only other thing I wanted to mention is there is a small actual cameo, an uncredited cameo. J.K. Simmons does the voice of J. Noble Daggett, who is Maddie's lawyer. So if you ever watch this movie again, you didn't catch it the first time, you can go back and rewatch it. So those are the main players. They picked Haley Steinfeld out of 15,000 girls, 14-year-old girls, that applied for the role, which is insane. And they got it right, by the way.
Absolutely nailed it.
Okay, so now I'm going to go through the plot. So, it's 1878, and Maddie Ross is traveling to Fort Smith because her father was killed. Like I said, Frank Ross was killed by Tom Chaney. She was sent to the Fort Smith to go get her father's body, and she learns there that Chaney has fled to the Indian Territory. And the sheriff is like, well, we can't do anything about it because he's gone to the Indian Territory. She asks, hey, what happens if I try and get a marshal to go? Can I offer a bounty to go get the marshal? He teases her. And then there's a scene where she says, hey, can you tell me like who's the best marshal? He offers a few options, but he says the meanest is Rooster Cogburn. He's a tough, pitiless man. And, you know, like, he says this other guy is actually the best. He always believes that everybody deserves a fair shake and a fair trial. And so she, of course, asks, where can I find Rooster Cogburn? There is a scene where she goes to find Rooster, and he is in the outhouse. And he basically is like, there's no clock on my business.
And if there was, it'd read 5 p.m.
5 p.m., yeah. So she strikes out with Rooster. Then there's a scene where she goes to court, and there's a scene where you get all of the character building you need about Rooster Cogburn. In the court scene, you learn that he, while in pursuit of two guys, essentially how the scene plays out is you learn that he shot them in the back. He basically bushwhacked them because the father was found with his hand in the fire. So his version of the story is they came at me and they had an axe and I defended myself and blah, blah, blah. But then they're like, okay, well, two witnesses said that the body was at the fire. And he's like, did you move the body after you shot him? Why would I do that? Okay, so you didn't move the body. So then the body was shot at the fire. So basically, he's not a man of law and order. He's very tough. He has grit. He's very gritty. And he has no interest. He does things his way, right? He has an eye patch. Like, he's tough. It's also a very funny scene, the court scene.
The eye patch is the definitive reason.
Yes.
And trait contributing to his grittiness.
So Maddie meets him again. She rolls him a cigarette. He doesn't believe that she's serious. And he doesn't believe that she has the money. So she goes to trade the horses back to the guy because her father was in town doing business. So he bought some ponies. And then she more or less goes to that guy and says, hey, you need to buy the ponies back. It's a very fun scene where they negotiate. He gets very flustered. He's not expecting to get double timed by a little girl. He does. And then she gets the money. She gets $320 from the guy. And gets to keep her father's saddle. Sells back a horse that he doesn't have, which was Tom Chaney's horse. And gets money for the fact that her father's horse was stolen by Tom Chaney. Right? So, like, walks away, just cleans this guy out.
Yeah, and this guy is played by the same actor who is the headmaster of Chilton in Gilmore Girls. Had to, of course, call that out, being the Gilmore Girls fans we ours.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you would think that he would have a better time handling a child of this level of bolster, considering he has dealt with Paris Geller, but whatever.
So she gets the money, and her intention is to go to Rooster the next day and be like, hey, I have the money. I'm sending you to go get Tom Chaney. Texas Ranger LaBeef shows up, and he watches her sleep. And he's like, I have thought about stealing a kiss. And he has this really creepy scene. He explains that he's been following Chaney, although he knows him by a different name, for killing a senator. I think he killed the senator's dog, and then he killed the senator. She says no, he's not going to Texas to face punishment for a Texas crime. We're gonna get him now. And so she goes back to Rooster, has the money. But then he's like, okay, well, wait a minute. You're coming with me? That's not part of it. And she's like, I'm not paying you money to trick me. He goes, I'm a bonded U.S. Marshal. She's like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not just gonna keep you in whiskey and tobacco. And so she's like, okay, he's like, okay, meet me at the river. Well, tomorrow morning we'll do it. So she goes to meet the marshal at his little, like, cot behind the Chinese grocery. And the guy reveals that Rooster Cogburn already left. He left a note, and they've already taken off for the nation. LaBeef and him have made an agreement that they'll work together, and when they catch Chaney, they'll split the reward for the Texas reward. Then She, in the meantime, she also bought one of the ponies back that she sold to the guy, which was really funny. It was about to go to the glue factory. Then she crosses the water. She comes out completely dry.
So bone dry. Her hair, her clothes. That girl has not touched any water.
Yes. So just made it through the whole way, bone dry. And then Matt Damon's had enough. He like literally starts to spank her, and like hits her with a switch. And then Jeff Bridges is like, "No, I'm good. We're not gonna hit her." And so he threatens to shoot LaBeef. So
I draw the line in the sand and hit her with a switch.
yeah.
Like he's finally like, all right, fine, she can come with.
So then they all basically form an unlikely trio. That night they're camping, and they start talking about Rooster's past. He followed a man named William Quantrill, who's a real person. He was a guerrilla leader for the Confederacy. And
how did he do it? Did like use a lot of bananas?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Like DK. And they basically have a big falling out. LaBeef leaves to pursue Chaney on his own, and Maddie and Cogburn continue on. There's a scene where basically he just keeps talking about his past. He just keeps like rambling on about his past, his wives, his relationships, his kid. They find a guy who had been hanged really high up in a tree. He makes Maddie go up there and cut him down because he might know him. Hey, is that Chaney? I would not know him from the soles of his feet. All right, get up there and cut him down. Why? I'm too old and fat. So she goes up there, cuts him down. He falls like 50 feet from the tree. He looks and goes, I do not know this man. Then a Native American shows up. The guy buys the body. And then later on, they're walking, and they feel like they're being followed. So they wait. They think it's LaBeef. They think it's going to be LaBeef, who is basically like going to track them and get to where they need to go, and basically steal Chaney from out from under them. Turns out to be a guy in a bear suit, not a bear suit, a bear skin. Excuse me. Who practices dentistry, who bought the body from the Native American for a couple bottles of expectorant and a mirror. And then he's like, you should go to Grazer Bob's, the original Grazer Bob's. And so they get to a cabin. It's like a little dugout. Go ahead.
You mentioned he's wearing the bear skin, which is accurate, correcting yourself
I have
from the bear
my
suit.
Bear skin.
But this is probably the closest a bear skin can be to being a bear suit without being a bear suit. Because this straight up looks like this man is wearing a bear costume. When
it does.
For a quarter second, it looks like a bear is riding a horse towards them. And the guy you brought up that he's a dentist, so perfect. Having the dentist being wearing this skin of some large game that he has hunted. What a true representation to dentists in real life.
Yeah. Yes. So they go to the dugout, the little cabin, Grazer Bob's. The original Grazer Bob's. He gone north of the picket wire, but he would not begrudge its use. And they find that somebody's in there because there's smoke coming out of the chimney. So Rooster goes out to the front. He sends Maddie up on the roof to throw his coat over the chimney if they turn out not to be friendly. So they They turn out to be Quincy and Moon. Sorry, there's a small scene here in between. It's not super important, but they go to Bagby's store and find out that recently an associate of Ned Pepper was seen in the territory. And Bagby's store is important for later, but otherwise. So they go, they smoke him out, then they invite him in for supper, basically. They're eating Sofkey. And after denying knowing Ned Pepper or Cheney, or that they're outlaws, or that they've done anything wrong, Cogburn actually shot into the house and put a ball in Moon's leg. And so he's like, tell you what, you tell me what you know about them boys, I'll ride back with you to Bagby store, get that ball out of your leg. And then he like threatens him by sending him to Detroit. He's like, they'll teach you how to read and write, but the rest won't be so pleasant. And so Moon admits that Ned Pepper and the gang are coming tonight for Sofkey and supplies, which causes Quincy to slam the knife on the table and cut off all of Moon's fingers on his one hand, which causes Rooster Cogburn to shoot him in the head. Now, Moon is dying, and he's like, nah, I can't save you. I was just saying that. But if you tell me what you know about Ned Pepper, I'll make sure you're buried right. And he's like, okay, Ned Pepper's coming tonight. Can you write to my brother? Sure, I'll write to your brother, and I'll make sure you're buried right. Neither of those things happen. He says if he wanted to be buried right, he shouldn't have died in the winter because the ground's too hard. So then the trap is set. They know that Ned Pepper's coming to the dugout tonight. So they go up on the ridge, and they know that Ned Pepper's going to come to the cabin. They're going to shoot at them from the ridge. No harm, no foul. But LaBeef, who actually was following them, gets there first. And then he's confronted by the entirety of the Ned Pepper gang by himself. Cogburn kills 2 members of the gang. He also accidentally shoots LaBeef, and Ned Pepper escapes. And in the so he was like, LaBeef was getting dragged around on the ground. So he like bit through his tongue. So now for the rest of the movie, he kind of talks like Sylvester. And then he also got shot in the arm. So that also becomes a thing. Because now he's really hurt, he rejoins the group.
Yeah. And just an interesting production note. Do you know how they got Matt Damon to talk like that most effectively?
No.
They tied a hair around his tongue.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, which helped him talk as if he had no tongue.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. But, ooh. So the group now head off. They know that one of the people in the party has a claim in the Winding Stair Mountains. Cogburn starts getting really drunk. He starts kind of being belligerent. The animosity between him and LaBeef continue. They have a shooting contest, which was inconclusive at best. And then they search for a few days. They have no trace of Cheney or the Ned Pepper gang. And so Cogburn gets drunk, says, hey, the trail's gone cold. I'm done. Maddie, you should go with LaBeef. LaBeef leaves, saying he's going to go back to Texas. Maddie says he feels bad. She feels bad that the way that she treated LaBeef and that she hired the wrong man. And then LaBeef says, hey, I misjudged you as well. So she doesn't leave Cogburn. The next morning, she goes down to the stream nearby to get water, where she just so happens to see Cheney. He's like, I know you. You're Maddie Ross, little Maddie Ross. And so she pulls a gun out of a flour sack, shoots
Her dad's
and,
gun.
Yeah, her dad's gun. She shoots and wounds him, but her revolver misfires, which allows him to basically walk up to her and take her hostage. Then Ned Pepper arrives, as Cogburn does, and so there's a shootout. Ned Pepper says, if you don't leave and go over that ridge, I will kill the girl. He's like, well, she's just a runaway to me. Do what you feel like you have to. Which is just such an interesting way to try to get her to not be killed. Pepper goes back up the mountain, his side of the stream, up the mountain with his gang, saying that someone's going to send a fresh horse for Cheney. They don't have enough horses. But that he will not harm Maddie while they're gone, because if he does, he will not be paid. Cheney is not the master criminal that the movie up to this point has led you to believe. He's sort of a simpering, wimpy, sad idiot. And he's like, oh, Cheney's left me here. I must think about my station.
Yeah,
Like,
he was like
he's
sniveling
whining.
almost.
Yeah. He when he gets shot, he's like, this is not fair. Nothing ever goes right for me.
He's like a stunted 15-year-old.
Yeah. Like, he's not a master criminal that's been eluding them. He's kind of just an idiot. He's a buffoon. So before Ned Pepper leaves, he sees Cogburn go over the ridge like they discussed, and he fires off his gun. That means the rest of the gang goes, leaves Cheney there with Maddie. After like a few seconds, he decides his only way of getting through this is to kill Maddie, because he doesn't need a lawyer or a judge. He needs to just get rid of the witness. And right as he's about to kill her, LaBeef arrives and knocks Cheney out cold. Right after the fight at the stream, LaBeef and Cogburn had reunited, and they'd come up with this plan, which means that Rooster is now going to take on the entirety of the Ned Pepper gang by himself. A 4-on-1 fight. This is the big scene in the movie. There is a very well-known, famous conversation that predates it. What is your intention, Rooster? I aim to kill you in 1 minute, Ned. We'll see you hanged in Fort Smith at Judge Parker's convenience. Which will you have? I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man. Fill your hands, you son of a bitch! And then they charge at each other. Cogburn kills 2. He then forces a third guy to flee before his own horse is shot.
Mm.
So he also shoots Pepper. So Cogburn's like trapped under his horse. Pepper says, well, Rooster, I'm shot to pieces. Seems that neither of us are to see Judge Parker today. And then LaBeef, on a rock, propped up on a boulder from 400 yards away with his Spencer rifle, shoots Ned Pepper and kills him. Maddie Ross says, some bully shot, as Cheney gets up, knocks out LaBeef, and then Maddie picks up the Spencer rifle and shoots Tom Cheney, The blowback from the rifle sends Chaney flying off the mountain.
He goes fly almost like the Jurassic Park kid.
Yeah. Love that scene. It also the recoil sends her back down into the big pit. Which then all the characters kept being like, be careful, there's a pit there.
Who put that damn log there for her to trip over?
Yeah. And she ends up in a pit with a bunch of snakes. She gets bit by a rattlesnake. Cogburn drops down with a rope, shoots the snakes, rescues Maddie, cuts open the wound, and starts sucking out the venom.
Which unfortunately is just a myth. Would not actually help.
Yeah. Another myth in the movie is that there's a lot of myths about snakes in this movie.
Yes, I forgot about that one.
Puts a rope around him every night when he sleeps because the idea is that a snake would not crawl over a rope.
Yes, we were talking about that during that, and I looked it up, and it was because they thought that the rope is uncomfortable on the snake's bellies when they slither over it.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
So, he basically leaves LaBeef, promising to send help. And he rides off on Little Blackie to reach a doctor. They ride Little Blackie, which is the name of Maddie's horse, until it dies from exhaustion. Maddie is now delirious. Cogburn kills the horse and keeps running on foot with her. Basically, they get to about 50 feet from Bagby's store, and then it goes black. It then cuts to the future, where it's framed as the older Maddie Ross telling you the story of when she was younger. She had gotten a letter from Cogburn. You see that she lost the arm. Cogburn had stayed with her until she had gotten out of danger, but left before she woke up. They did amputate her arm. She got a letter from Cogburn inviting to come to a traveling Wild West show, in which he was basically performing, telling stories. When she arrives, so this is a fun detail. These two people are supposed to be Cole Younger and Frank James. Frank James being the older brother of Jesse James. That Cogburn died just a couple days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago.
She thanks Cole Younger, who stood up and removed his hat, and she calls Frank James trash since he stayed seated and didn't bother to show her any courtesy.
Another dig at the legacy of the James family.
Yeah. Maddie, so they basically had him buried in the Confederate plot. Maddie was never married, never had kids. Has Cogburn's body moved to her family cemetery in Yell County.
Yeah, and the shots of them loading up Cogburn's casket into the train are very reminiscent and parallel the imagery from when the same process happened to her father at the start of the film.
Yep. All right. And I think otherwise I did a pretty good job.
Very nice job, CJ. Yes. I think you did excellent. I think you did absolutely phenomenal.
I do, based on how little you interrupt.
Well, that should never be an indication because sometimes I interrupt just for talking points.
That's true, but when you interrupt to tell me plot points, that's when I judge myself. But any Hoosers, yeah, that's the plot of True Grit. So, do you want to kind of talk about your thoughts first? Some of your in-depth thoughts?
Yeah, we already talked a little bit. This feels not as much like a Western as other Westerns. It definitely feels more like a Coen Brothers film, at least in tone throughout. I do think this is a Western. Like you said, this can be both. But definitely doesn't feel like I'm watching a Western in that I'm not being inundated and bored with the Western trappings. just something about westerns, and I've talked a lot about my issues with their delivery on tension. I just find that oftentimes they kind of meander. None of that is here. None of that meandering sense that I often get with westerns, like the letting everything breathe in the landscape. It just doesn't jive with me. That's not here. It feels like The Big Lebowski to an extent. Like Jeff Bridges is kicking kids off of porches. And like, I do not know this man. Like the repeated dialogue, it doesn't take
you
itself
are not one beef.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself 100% seriously. There's a comic matter of factness to the dialogue, which is just so indicative of a Coen Brothers film that it was very entertaining from start to finish because of that. The dialogue is just, they're firing on full cylinders with the dialogue here, especially with their writing for Maddie. Like the opening 20, I would say like even the first like half hour or so, maybe it's like the first 15 minutes are really strong until she like goes into the courthouse and starts watching the trial. And I'm not saying that it gets weak at the trial, but the first 15 minutes are just following Haley Steinfeld as Maddie. And we learn so much about her, not because anyone is like, oh, that's Maddie, her dad, he died, but she's smart as she's as smart as a mother. She's fire as a pistol, like we see her negotiate. We see her, like, people attempt to pull the wool over her eyes and she rips that wool back and shoves it down their throat, metaphorically.
If you'd like
right?
to kiss the body, that would be all right.
Yeah, like she is being treated with the kid gloves on and she is ripping the gloves off of them and smacking them with it. It just, such a strong personification of this character, and we feel so deeply understanding of her so quickly, especially with the quick exchange you had alluded to with the potential marshals or people she can hire being listed, and her immediately, like, the guy like, but this is the guy you really want to hire. He is full of honor and justice and really, he's good as a dog. And she's like, okay, what about that curmudgeony old fuck who seems sketchy as hell? Yeah, that's what I want, right? So it's just really well put together. I really enjoyed it. I, of course, have more to say to all of those points. But yeah, it was fun. It was entertaining. And it's not what I typically think when I think Western, because I'm just so jaded towards the genre.
Yeah.
How about you, CJ?
I think that I've done a good job of selecting decent movies for you, keeping in mind your predisposition to not necessarily enjoy the genre. No, I love this movie. Like I said, I try to watch it like once a year. It scratches a lot of itches for me, but I grew up with the 1969 True Grit, and like being told this is the movie that John Wayne won the Oscar for, it's like, okay, so clearly this is not the movie that should have won Best Actor that year or Best Picture. Like, this is not that, right? So it definitely is his Lifetime Achievement Award. I would say there's like a reckoning when you have to confront what you knew as a child with what you know as an adult. And it happens when like you have to like reconcile some of that stuff. So like okay, well, I know that I like this movie, and then I watch the True Grit from 2010, and then the first time I saw it, I'm like, well, it has to live up to 1969, and I watched it the first time, and I'm like, okay, that's way better. What the fuck? Like, this isn't even close. And so that was like one of the first times for me. I'm like, okay, well, this is where like things can be better than what you think they can be, right? Like, it can just be better. It doesn't have to have any qualifiers on it. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, like, this movie with John Wayne is not the end-all be-all. Like, somebody can come in and take the story and make a better version of that story. So, that's first and foremost. I always think about this movie in the context of it being a Coen Brothers film. Like, you watch this and you laugh. Not saying that the other westerns don't have funny moments, or those other westerns. I laughed during all of the westerns that we've watched, except for Wild Wild West. And like, I'm not.
So
saying
wait. Did you just admit Wild Wild West is a western?
No.
Got him.
Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. Thank you.
You laughed in all the other westerns we watched except for Wild Wild West.
I laughed in all those other movies, but they're not. I don't think that they're trying to be funny. And like, this movie is doing something serious. This movie is doing something very serious, which is revenge, right? We've done a lot of movies about revenge. We did Batman, we did Gladiator, we did V for Vendetta.
Yeah, it was a 4-episode run. It was a 4-part duology.
Yes. We did The Searchers, right?
Yes.
And then, you know, like, is there another movie recently that had revenge? No. I mean, there was some of that in the end of Banshees, but like, this movie is about like retribution. Like, Maddie Ross is seeking not justice, vengeance, right? And she's 14. She's a 14-year-old girl. And so it's like, okay, well, how are you even going to get it? You know? She's like, well, she's not a 14-year-old playing with dolls. She's, you know, she's like, my mom can't even spell cat, right? Frank Jr. is a child. Like, I am the only one that can make sure that Tom Chaney is brought to justice, and I'm not going to let somebody basically like paw at me and say, oh yeah, sure, little girl, we'll get you justice. Well, you know, like, she tolerates so much of it. And my favorite aspect of that in this movie is they're pursuing Tom Chaney. She says at one point in the beginning, and it's sort of a line that you brush off unless you know how it ends. LaBeef is talking to Maddie in bed, and he's explaining that he's been chasing Chaney forever. I think he calls him Chelmsworth or Chelmsford or something. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I've been chasing him forever. And she goes, I always found him quite dull myself. Right? That's your first indicator that he's not some kind of master criminal. But even as an audience, you're like, okay, well, this guy killed her father. He must be a really tough outlaw. Like every other depiction of a bad guy ever in a Western. And he's not. He's a loser.
Yeah, he's a dope.
Yeah, he's like, let me ride double saddle with you. At least till we clear the camp.
Yeah.
Like, he's like begging.
It's like, it's almost like it's a miracle he's even alive to this point, that he has made it this far in life, in the type of life that he is leading.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you just assume because he did something bad, there must be some competence there. But there isn't. And there's this moment when Maddie Ross is captured and sitting with Tom Chaney at the fire, that you just kind of, you feel bad for him somehow. Not like, oh, he needs, like, but like, she almost feels bad for him. She says she's going to get him a lawyer. And maybe they'll go easy on him. It's like, no, he killed your father. What are you talking about? But that's where it is, because he's not the guy that you thought he was. That's like, who have I been chasing? You know? I'll talk about this a little later, but there's a moment at the end of one of the scenes in The Wire, and I'm going to announce spoilers for The Wire here if you've never seen it, where the police have been chasing this guy for 3 seasons. And he ultimately meets his end. And they go to his apartment. And he's a black Baltimore drug dealer. So the police think they know who he is. But they never really talk to him. He never like testifies or anything. And they go to his apartment, and it's like all really nice upscale decor, and it's all white, and he has like the Wealth of Nations, and he's like has like a samurai sword. And the officer who's been obsessively chasing him for years at this point, for 3 seasons of the show, ends his chase for him by saying, "Who the hell have I been chasing?" Right? Like, and I think that's the most profound thing that he could have said, because you don't know who these people are, right? Like, you just assume like, oh, he's an outlaw. He must be this really bad guy who, you know, and I'm not saying Tom Chaney's a good guy, but I'm saying he must be a really bad guy who's like tough and smart, and if he killed my father, he must be, you know, hey, there must be something under. No, your father got killed by a coward. You know? He thought he was getting cheated in cards. You know, there's something so unsatisfying about, I don't want to say unsatisfying about the revenge. There's something unsatisfying about the resolution for her. You know, because it's like, you almost think you have to be as smart as Matty Ross, right? It took a Texas Ranger, a U.S. Marshal, and a really smart and capable 14-year-old to track you down. And it's like, no, he's a simpleton. Yeah,
and I'm sure that there's also playing into that a degree of, you know, maybe not disappointment, but frustration in that it's like, this is the dude who killed my dad. You imagine someone with that relation to you as probably like this big bad guy, and then he is this sniveling drub. You're like, really? This is who we've been chasing down? You're the reason why I am why I am a half orphan now, is because you somehow managed in your spittling actions managed to kill my father. Like, it's almost insulting, in addition to the everything else, that he was the one who killed her father.
Yeah. But there is some sort of, like, at least she got to do it, right? Because she didn't want Rooster Cogburn. The reason she had to go was because she was not going to be satisfied. You know?
Yeah.
Like, she had to go because she wanted to do it. And that's basically true for most people. Like, let's just pretend for a moment we're the type of people that would do this, right? Let's just force out of our minds the idea that we're not, you know, whatever. We're not these kinds of people. But it's like, if someone, like, killed, like, my father, right? It's not that I would want him to see justice. I would want to kill him my damn self. You know? Like, that's the revenge I want. Like, you took from me, now I take from you. The difference is, like, you killed my father, I'm not going to kill your child, I'm going to kill you. Right? And she has that moment, which is the only reason that moment at all feels, like, fulfilling. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I talked a lot. I don't know if you want
to. No, I'm in totally in agreement. Totally in agreement.
I said that because my voice started to hurt.
You know, I think it's interesting, kind of talking to Maddie and Josh Brolin. I'll just call him Josh Brolin. That scene where she kills him, it's interesting that he goes flying off the cliff, and after that, he's kind of just a footnote. We get no fanfare for seeing his dead body. We don't have too much of a delivery on that beyond her killing him. Because we're immediately thrown into her life is in peril. She needs rescuing, and then the epilogue.
Yeah. And it's almost like it was never about Tom Chaney.
Interesting. Interesting. You're trying to tell me that this story, in fact, had greater themes at play?
Ooh, yeah.
What might those be, CJ?
Well, you know.
In what way is this not about Tom Chaney?
If it was about Tom Chaney, like, we would have seen at any point from his perspective or the gang's perspective, right?
Hmm. Rather than them just showing up in the dark 2/3 of the way through the movie, and
With
that
no
leading,
speaking. Yeah,
and that leading pretty quickly into our final, like, because once they all kind of meet each other, like, we get into the final standoff pretty quickly. Like, she stumbles upon him like an hour and 20 in, and then they kidnap her within 5 minutes, and then we are at the final set piece. It's within those 10 minutes of her being captured by them, Tom Chaney is dead and she is in the hole, and she is being bitten by a snake.
Yeah.
This all unfolds so quickly.
That scene where he's like, I aim to kill you in 1 minute. I think that scene takes, like, the fight from when he says that to the fight where the end is he's trapped under his horse is legitimately a minute.
Yes.
And then there's like 30 seconds extra where LaBeef takes the shot.
Yeah, when he said, I aim to kill you in 1 minute, I think in the commentary track, I made note of what time it was in the timeline and what had happened in 1 minute. And I think it was around the time that was trapped under the horse. He wasn't dead in 1 minute, but the fight did resolve, as you had said.
Yeah, which I thought that was a nice detail. I mean, it's, all the clocks are stuck at 5 o'clock, so.
Yeah, I mean, what is the concept of a minute to these timeless denizens of the wild, wild west here? Now,
yeah,
you
where's
had
their
mentioned
sundial?
you had mentioned we're talking a lot about the revenge aspect of this right now. And I can't recall if you said this in the pre-show or if you said this during our commentary track, that this movie does revenge in a brilliant way.
Yeah. So it definitely has to do with that whole thing where the person you're chasing, one, it is the ultimate, this will not bring you peace. Because so often that is the message in the movie. Oh, revenge isn't going to make you happier. But the person you're getting revenge on, everybody would be happier if they were dead, right? Like, it's like, oh, revenge won't bring you peace. Yeah, but if I kill the Riddler, like, nobody's going to be mad that I killed the Riddler, right? Or
whereas if you kill the Rizzler, everyone's going to be pissed.
Yeah, exactly. TikTok will erupt.
Yeah.
Or like Gladiator. It's like, revenge won't bring you peace. Okay, but like, there's nothing else that will. So, and everybody hates that guy, and he's trying to fuck his sister. So, I mean, like, the audience is conditioned to hate the person. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And this movie doesn't do that. This movie doesn't make you hate Tom Chaney. You don't like him. You know that that's what you're trying to do, and you like the other characters, and you know they all have good cause to go on this pursuit. But once you get to the end and you see who it is that you're chasing, it loses that steam. You lose sort of that mystique, and I think that's one of the things that's very well done about this is like, okay, yeah, we're going to hold off on showing you the monster until the very end, and the monster is a clown, right? He's not who you thought he was. And then almost, is he really worth your time? Is he worth the bullet? Like, if not for the fact that he immediately decided that we had to kill Haley Steinfeld, you don't even have it in your, like, heart to be like, he needs to die. He's, like, pouting. Like, he doesn't even have, like, an intimidating smirk or anything. You know, like, he's not he's an asshole for what he's done, but he's doing it because he's like, life's not fair for Tom. Oh, that dog bit me. You know, like, he's just a feckless.
He's a wimp.
He's a wimp. So, it's like, okay, we're gonna hide the monster, and the thing that's killed everybody at the Antarctic station is a pigeon.
Now, that would be a disappointing way for the thing to end.
Yes.
That'd be very disappointing. No, I get what you're saying, and I think it, just kind of plays into the themes of that you often see in revenge films of, is revenge ultimately worth it? And what are you have this idealized version in your head of how revenge will go down, and it is often disappointing, be it in how you feel after, or what the person, like we were talking about earlier, what this person is actually like who did these things to you. They might not be this competent boogeyman that you might make them up to be. They might just be a dude who got lucky one night, and you make them up in your head to be something entirely different. So definitely agree.
Yeah. All right. What about your analysis?
I mean, let's talk a little bit about Haley Steinfeld in this, because she is just incredible. She's incredible in this role.
It throws me off to remember that she was like 14 when she filmed this.
Yeah,
because
and
she's younger than I am, but she's been around for so long that I'm like, you must be like 40. You know, but go ahead.
I was going to say, like, it's ridiculous. She is the best performance in this film, I personally think. Like, that's not to say Jeff Bridges is bad. That's not to say anyone else is bad. Like, she's just punching so far above her weight class here.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that goes in hand with how strong the material is on the page. It's very well written, but she really fills the role out. She is so believable. And I think that this being her big break film, us not having a catalog of known Haley Steinfeld appearances in our mind before this, I mean, it's a little different watching this so far beyond that, where she has such an established career now. But I think that it does a lot to, like, here is this unknown who is filling this incredibly important glue role. It's the heart of the film, and she does everything you could want and then some. And it's kind of ridiculous that she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for this, considering she is like the protagonist and has the most screen time out of any character in the movie. She is the Best Supporting Actress. Feels a little condescending in the nomination there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. But, she's such a interesting character. I love how she, like, speaks in soliloquy a lot of the time. Like, she is moody as hell. Yeah, just an all-time performance. I think genuinely might be one of my all-time favorite characters from a movie, just because of how well realized it is on all fronts.
Yeah, I could totally get behind that. I mean, she absolutely kills it. An unknown, basically, coming into that role. And, I think there's an element to this where, if she had never done anything again, it would have been surprising, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's gone on to have a career, and now you can look back at her other body of work and be like, wow, she was so good in this,
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I think about it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You said, I mean, she really does steal the show, because you don't expect a 14-year-old to really crush it. But, man, Jeff Bridges did such a good job as Rooster, There's only one scene, one line delivery that takes me out of his performance.
Which one's that?
It's the one where he goes, "I missed my shot."
Oh, when they're yeeting the stuff in the air?
Yeah, they're throwing the fucking cornbread in the air.
Yeah, that scene as a whole, it's a little weird. I think it makes sense in its inclusion, but it is a little weird as a scene considering everything
It's
else.
his
But yeah,
delivery of that line. I
It's-
missed my shot.
that scene, while we watch it, I'm like, is he just plastered off his ass? He seems so drunk
yeah.
in this one scene alone.
Yeah, I think that scene was to illustrate that he is like increasingly hitting the bottle because they're not making progress.
Gotcha. That makes
on,
sense.
yeah.
You know, in speaking to Jeff Bridges' performance, I just found his delivery of so many lines were so good because he lets there be some air before some of his responses at times where it just hammers home. Like, this is a jaded individual, right? This is someone who, if someone does something a little different than him, than what he has deemed to be the best way of doing things, he's going to cock his head and look at them silly, right?
Yeah.
And
If it's not loaded and cocked, they don't shoot.
before so many of his lines, like, he'll be in conversation with someone and they will say something to him, and he just like he has a pause before he delivers. There's a delay before certain lines where it just hammers home this like feeling of disbelief from this character. Like, did you really say that? Did that come out of your mouth just now? Like, he's dealing with there are 10 people in the room, himself included, and the other 9 are all idiots. He very much has that air about him. That's the way he feels about it all. And Jeff Bridges, you know, it is hammered home, not just with how the character is written in, you know, the way he is affronting these people very verbally and directly, but just like all of the mannerisms surrounding it. Again, just so realized. Like, these two, I don't think I can say the same about Matt Damon or Josh Brolin's performances. Not that those are bad performances, but they just don't quite fill the portrait of their respective characters all the way to the edges and beyond, right?
Yeah.
So Jeff like, just so good. So good. I love seeing him work with the Coen brothers again.
Yeah, I agree. That was fun.
Yeah.
It's always a treat, you know.
Yeah. Now, I have a couple questions I wanted to ask.
Okay.
First is, I wanted to talk a little bit about going back to discussing this film as a Western. The Coen brothers, they're not really Western directors. They've directed this, and I think the other one most notably is No Country for Old Men, which I think is pretty widely considered a neo-Western, right?
Yeah, I think neo, important distinction, but yeah.
So I guess, how do you feel about True Grit and No Country, both as Westerns by the same creators? Is one of them you feel more of a Western? Do you, as someone who is so entrenched in the Western genre, it's such a formative genre for you, is there one that you feel executes on certain aspects of the Western more than the other?
I
will take that groan as a good question, Tommy. Good question.
It is a good question. What I would say is, I think True Grit is the Western. I think neo-Western is, as a genre, distinct from Western in several important ways. But I think that if you do a Western, at least modern Westerns now, part of the emphasis on what you're doing is the landscape and the country, right? Like, that's a character in your film. We saw it in True Grit. I mean, we saw it in Tombstone. We saw it in, to a lesser extent, Wild Wild West. We saw it. We saw it in this movie. It's just like the main reason they can't get Lucky Ned is because it's a big ass country and they don't know where he is. Right? Which you do have that in Old Country for No Men, or Old Country. No Country for Old Men, excuse me. But I don't know. It doesn't have the trappings. I think definitely one is more of a Western than the other. But that isn't to say I don't love both, because I think both of those movies are fantastic. You know? Yeah, good question I wasn't prepared for. Well done.
Get fucked.
Thank you.
That's the gotcha journalism I come here for, right?
Yeah, very well done.
And, you know, kind of on a similar note, in comparing this film to others, I have not seen the original True Grit. You have. How did, you know, you've already talked a bit about how they compare and contrast, but I want to talk specifically about the ending. Because the ending to this film, the feat that Rooster Cogburn does of putting his reins in his mouth, that's a very iconic Western ending. Like it's just a very famous moment. So how do you feel this movie pulls off that moment in execution compared to the first?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because I actually am going to show you the scene from YouTube. Because I wanted to show you the clearing, because we talked about the clearing.
Yes, okay.
Right, if you're interested in finding this is True Grit 9 of 9 movie clip, bold talk for a one-eyed fat man on Movie Clips, the YouTube channel.
Go to YouTube channel.
Go to YouTube.
My favorite thing about them is that they number the clips that they put up, so you know just when to stop searching, right? You're not going to be like, I got to see more from this channel, from this movie.
Mm-hmm. All right, so...
All right, I've got it pulled up. I'm at 0-0.
All right. I'm at 0-0. John Wayne has the gun held up.
All right. I'm
right,
ready to press play.
We're going to go on go, okay?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Now, first I notice his eye patch is on the other eye.
Yes.
So he's standing. John Wayne is on his horse, just to add a little bit of description for the audio people. This clearing looks, we've barely seen most of it. He's
You'll
just
see it.
right in front of trees.
These like little birch trees.
Yeah. It's like we're in the Northwoods of Wisconsin almost.
You're going to get a wide here in a second.
Oh, he put the reins in his mouth? Okay. Oh my God, that's tiny. They
That's what I was
started.
telling
It would have been so much more effective if they started going the other way. Oh, also, Matt Damon, perfect casting as that dude. That dude looks so Matt Damon coded. What is this camera? Oh my
Put a
gosh.
camera on the horse.
Yeah, this would have been so much. First off, they would have been done riding by now. The field that they're in is so much wider than it is long.
Yes.
This is like if they had set up on a football field, but they were going across it rather than from one end zone to the other. Why would they film it that way? Yeah, that absolutely tiny. I just from my limited exposure, I think that the other one does this ending a bit better, or the newer one does the ending a bit better.
Yeah, because it's such a small field, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think in the performance, John Wayne, it feels like he takes a much more offense to Pepper's inflammatory dialogue than in the new one, where it almost feels like his motivation for killing him here is solely, and then the shooting. Yeah. Him getting sniped off is way better in the new one. Holy smokes. It almost feels like, I'm going to charge you just because you called me fat. Right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of goofy.
Yeah. Whereas the John Wayne one was like, you called me fat? Yo, you're dead now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, all right? So do you now understand what I was saying before?
Yeah.
Like,
why would they film it that way? That makes no sense at all.
yeah. So okay, like I said, the movie is a movie about John Wayne. Okay, there's a few things that John Wayne doesn't do. You'll notice that when John Wayne turns around on the horse, the other people also turn around so he can shoot them in the front.
Interesting. Of course, because he doesn't shoot him in the back.
He did. Yeah, you mean you want me to shoot him in the back?
I'm taking a screenshot of this field.
Yeah, no, seriously. And we'll post it in the Discord when the episode comes out, but like the field is so small.
And they start so close.
Yes. Like they start close enough that like if you're not in the Discord and you only are listening to this, they start close enough that like it would have been better if John Wayne got off his horse.
Yes, 100%.
And
are
just
like
shot them.
I genuinely think they are like less than 100 feet away from each other. They are maybe like 80 feet.
Oh yeah, they're very close. They're very,
oh my
very
gosh.
close.
That is so funny. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
certainly an interesting contrast with the new version.
Yeah, because the new version kind of feels serious. You know?
Mhm.
Like this feels like a joke. In the
Yeah.
moment when it came out, it was serious, of course, but I don't know. I every time I watch this, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
It didn't
Oh.
age.
No, you mean it aged a lot, we should say maybe.
Sorry, it didn't age well.
Yeah, there we go. Oh man. Okay, a couple other things I wanted to bring up.
All right, we're tying it up.
Yes, we're getting into all those questions I got near the end.
Yep.
Who had the best hat?
Oh.
We gotta of course ask this. Every Western I've asked some variation of who has the best horse, who has the best hat. Who's got the best hat in this one?
Well, I do like Lucky Ned Pepper's hat.
Let me just scan to find his. He's got a good one. I like the weather to it. It's a good color too.
Yeah, like it's easy to say Jeff Bridges had the best hat. But he's the leading man, so of course he's going to have the best costume. Right?
See, I wasn't even going to put Jeff Bridges in my top 3.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
All right, talk to me then.
All right. Number 1, I think Haley Steinfeld's got the best hat.
The little bowler?
Yeah, I think it just really fits her character. I love the fact that she has to pad the inside of it with newspaper for it to fit properly.
Yes.
I think it's just such a sharp difference from the other hats in this. It's not a cowboy hat like these other cowboy hats are. It just does a good job at placing her as an outsider to this group. And it's iconic. I think how round it is adds to the aesthetic of it. It's just too iconic for me to not love it. Second, I did really like Matt Damon's hat because it's got 2 little buckles on it, and I thought they looked goofy. It's like it's like his hat's got 2 belts on, and I liked that. It just appealed to me.
All right.
But then the last one, and this might be number 1, truly, it's the fucking dentist with the bear skin.
Oh,
his hat is a bear's head.
Okay. I didn't realize we were counting the bear skin guy.
He didn't cross my mind until just as we started talking about this question. I started clicking around to look at some of the hats and maybe get a glimpse of the people I was going to say.
Bear skin.
And then I clicked right to that dude showing up. I'm like, wait, that's the best hat. Easily. No doubt about it.
That's funny.
Okay, we got the hats down. Okay, I wanted to bring up the snake biting her at the end.
Okay.
So she falls into this pit, right? And she's just
why didn't
laying
you just
there.
get a new burrito, Todd?
Exactly. She's just laying there, right? She's
pinned
not
down, I think. But yeah.
Yes, her foot was trapped. Her foot was snagged in some roots. But she's laying there. It's not like she's flailing. And these snakes all come out. This snake bit her out of pure malice. This snake was in zero form of danger. This is the most evil snake. I love this guy. Like,
I fuck with the snake.
it bites her for no reason. Like, typically with snakes, they're very like, you know, and I know all snakes and temperaments are different as they are with all animals. It's not like it's out of the question for a snake to just bite you because you're near it. But this snake has no reason to bite her other than it moves the plot forward and it is an act of evil. And I loved it for that.
All right. So at the beginning of next episode, I'm going to have a snake expert.
Okay.
I'm going to have a snake expert record. And I'm going to ask some questions about the snake.
Okay.
And ask if this is genuine snake behavior or not.
All
so we
right.
can get to the bottom of this.
Now,
So-
I do think it would be prudent for you to come with the type of snake that bit her.
it was a rattlesnake.
Okay. Sweet.
And so I know someone who's a reptilian expert. So
Okay. Maybe show them the clip as well if you could find it
Yes.
labeled like 8 of 11 on a certain YouTube channel.
yes. I'm going to show them the clip,
Okay.
and we will do our best to
Sweet.
to get some info here.
I have added Snake Expert to our next episode's pre-show notes, so we do not
Yes.
forget.
Yes. I don't. Hopefully, it'll be either in the pre-show or the post-show. Just because we're recording on an accelerated timeline, I hope that I will be able to get that interview done with her soon.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess we
Sweet.
can always add it in post, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have it next time for sure.
Cool. Another thing, there was an eye roll moment for me in the ending of this film. At the end, when she shows up to that circus, she's like, I'm looking for Rooster Cogburn. And they're like, well, I'll tell you what, he died 3 days ago. I'm like, isn't that fucking convenient? He died just before she got there. I fucking hate this shit in movies. In storytelling in general. I hate contrivances like that. Like, oh, I'm going to leave the house unaware of something that happened. Do. I walk out the door. The phone rings the instant I walk out. Oh, no. Contrivances, no matter how small, typically piss me off. And this
All
one,
right.
no exception. He
Yeah,
died
I'm
3 days
seeing
ago.
that.
Like, what? Come on. You couldn't have said, oh, he died a month ago. 3 days?
Well, she immediately started to travel, so it had to be relatively recent.
Yeah.
Had to be. She doesn't live that far away, so
And that makes it all the more contrived. You're trying to tell me she lives not far away? Just pisses
it's
me
a
off.
traveling road show, Tommy. Come on.
I don't care. Pisses me off. 3 days ago. Come on.
Some people die. Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I know some people die, but it pisses me off. They just picked it was 3 days ago. Come on.
I'm gonna die now. You're gonna come to visit me.
Oh.
I'm gonna die while you're on the plane.
You're
gonna
so
be like,
so contrived.
I hate
CJ.
contrivances. People are gonna be so confused. What? What?
Oh,
What are you-
this
what are
is
you
so
saying?
CJ. CJ would have a contrived death.
I hate contrivances.
Oh, I guess any performances or scenes that you wanted to call out that we hadn't to this point?
Josh Brolin does a really solid job.
Very different from roles I'm typically used to him in.
Yeah, like that guy from the Goonies.
Yeah, or like that guy from I'm trying to think about other really old movies he was in.
I think he did No, I don't know.
Like as a child star. Damn. But like when I think Josh Brolin, I typically think of him as a very like firm, maybe not always competent, but like a very firm, authoritative figure. I feel he brings that presence to a lot of
like
his
in Old
roles.
Country for No Men.
Yes, Old Country for No Men. He
Damn
kills
it!
it in that.
No
but like
Country for Old Men.
like in that he has a spine to him, right? I've recently seen him in Weapons, and he is like this gruff construction, like he's like a contractor, right? And he's not above forcing people to do things through social manipulation and being a rough, tough guy alone.
Or like
right?
Thanos. That guy really knew how to get it out of people.
Yeah, exactly. So it was so interesting seeing him play against, in what is my experience with him, against type. But man, does he play a little grime ball so well. Like, this almost feels like a role that you would get like Jake Gyllenhaal for.
I do not like that. Well, he was already in a different cowboy movie, famously.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Right, Donnie Darko?
Yep, that's it.
I was the one where the two dudes kiss.
Were you fucking with me, or did you not remember he was in Brokeback Mountain?
That's the one where the two dudes kiss.
Yeah, I'm saying, did you not remember, or were you fucking with me?
No, I was fucking with you.
Oh, okay. By the way, shout out to Heath Ledger.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard people talk about this Heath Ledger guy.
Hey, it just never got his flowers, man. No.
All right. Next up is, of course, talking about how it connects to our previous film. This was our part 2 in the duology of people who get shot in the chest and live, with Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. CJ, which one do you think better embodied our theme of people who get shot in the chest and live?
Really gonna go ahead here and say Knives Out did it better.
I'm with you.
It was a loose association at best, although I will say multiple people get shot in the chest and live.
In this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is true. That's a really good point. I do agree Glass Onion does it a bit better overall because it is such a central plot point.
Mm-hmm.
It's you take that out of the movie, you have much less of a movie than if you take all the people getting shot out of True Grit.
Yeah, I agree. Much less of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about we ask maybe the most important question here. CJ, could you have done a True Grit 2010?
You know what I'm going to ask.
Who am I?
Who am I? Yes.
I think you're I would assume you're Rooster Cogburn.
Okay, I'm not Maddie.
No, I don't. I think the question is more interesting from the perspective of Rooster, because Maddie, while yes, a lot of what she accomplishes is above the capability of a regular person. It's a lot of commanding
it's not
conversations.
Above my capability.
I mean, we know that when you went to negotiate with the headmaster of Chilton, you would just get banned from his office. We all know how that would play out.
We do know that that's how that would go. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. I feel like during the movie you were like, "Now, CJ, remember this scene because this is going to come up later." And I want you to remember that when you say you can do this, you have to remember this scene. But I don't remember what that scene was.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So I'm going to weasel call and say, yes, of course I can do it.
Wow. Okay. Yes, you could. I'm marking it down in Tominio's ledger. Thank you, Tominio. Pat him on the head.
I could definitely shoot people in the face at point blank. I guess I am afraid of horses. That might be a challenge, but I'd make it work.
There is a lot of horse riding in this. In fact, it's a big plot point at the end, too, that you ride a horse so good that it
Did I say that I could do
exhaustion.
the Searchers?
Did you say that you could do the Searchers? No. You said no to Searchers. And this is a very similar movie to the Searchers once you really start looking at what they have to do.
All right. I'm going to change it to a no, but I could be LaBeef.
No, but you could be LaBeef. Okay, I like that. Breaking up a string of 3 yeses in a row.
I said I could do Glass Onion.
You said you could do Sinners.
No, did I?
Yeah, you said yes, you could do Sinners because you're like, what do I have to do? Just stay inside?
That's right.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, how about we get to
great.
the
The most
titular
important
question then? I think the most important one is, could you have done it? This is the titular question.
Sure, the titular question. Yes, the film is okie dokie. 2 thumbs up for me.
I am going to be in agreement. Yes, this is an okie dokie film. 2 thumbs up
Are
for me
we
as
on
well.
an okie dokie streak?
We're on the biggest okie dokie streak to date.
Oh God, I wish you didn't say that.
We are at 8 unanimous okie dokies in a row.
Wow.
The longest in show history. Before this streak of 8, would you like to guess what our longest streak was of consecutive unanimous yeses?
I'm gonna say 3.
3. Yes. Twice we said yes 3 times in a row. Our opening 3, and then our Some Like It Hot, the Batman and Gladiator 3.
That's interesting to me because I don't remember if I liked Gladiator that much.
Well, you said yes, it's okie dokie.
It is okie dokie. That's for sure.
So,
All right.
would
yeah,
you
wow.
like to find out what? Oh, actually, before we can actually find out what we're doing next time,
Yeah,
we have to go to the rec room. Of course,
Yeah.
of course, of course. Glad I caught myself, and thank you for helping catch me as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa,
actually
you
have
installed a
stuff
little
this time.
waterfall in here. This is
I did.
peaceful.
I did. I gotta tell you, I've been inspired by so much Minecraft lately.
Oh, I can tell. I can tell the paneling. It's very reminiscent of your manor that you showed off to Jade and I in Minecraft the other day.
Yes. My cabin.
Yeah.
I actually drew up some plans and made a material list recently for a nether house.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah,
Good luck
I'm
with
excited.
that. Can't wait to see it.
I'm excited for that. Yeah. Well, people usually just make like a little hut in the nether. I wanted to do something a little nicer.
Well, you gotta, fully utilize that acreage that you have.
Yeah, exactly. I have hectares to consider.
That's so big, I don't even know how one is.
Hey, there you go. So, I don't know if I've recommended the show before, but I go through cycles.
Mm-hmm.
And recently my cycle has come back around that I'm about to watch The Wire. And it's like, oh, how are you recommending something that you're about to watch? Because I have been watching the clips for The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I love that show. I think it is one of the greatest shows ever made. I know that a lot of people get fatigued because that is a common show that people recommend. And say that it is like the best show ever, and I am cognizant of that. But I just have to say it is really true. It is worth your time. It streams on HBO Max, which is now HBO Max again. We don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it is just a really good use of your time. Please consider watching The Wire. There are so many great actors in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's a show that
nobody's a bad actor in that show.
No, and that's a show that I've watched it. It was around a decade ago, and I wasn't the hottest on it, but I want to revisit. But I will see people who were in that show up in other things, and I just instantly am like, oh my god, that's the guy from The Wire.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend rewatching that show. That show is such a commentary for so many different aspects of the city of Baltimore, that I feel like it doesn't always translate, but man, it's good.
Nice. Anything else to recommend?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Minecraft lately, so this is
cool.
the most involved I've been in Minecraft, and I say that to say I'm not trying to get to the end and beat the dragon, but like building fancy houses and trying to explore new biomes and like cartography and just doing all the different things that the game has to offer. I've really been enjoying it. So
nice.
Yeah. So those are my 2 recommendations: The Wire and Minecraft.
Very nice. I also have 2 recommendations. These are 2 of the 3 films I watched last night. Get Fucked, Predator. You're not included in these recommendations.
Okay.
I watched Full Metal Jacket for the first time, which
You had never seen Full Metal Jacket.
No, I had
was
seen
actually
parts
just
of it.
thinking about that movie recently.
Great
today.
movie. Oh, is it a great movie? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You were thinking of it today. Yeah, I watched it for the first time last night. I was pretty unfamiliar with it going in. I really only knew, like, the first half of that movie has been recreated and memed and redistributed ad nauseum. So I had seen a lot of those scenes, all of the boot camp
Popular
scenes.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, but I had heard that the second half of the movie was like an entirely different film, but I didn't know what people meant by that. So it was really interesting to experience that for the first time, and really, really great. It's one of the most anti-war films I've ever seen. Just so focused on the dehumanization of everything involved in the war, from the training to the actual, like, the language that's used in war, to the way things are represented in the media, to just the way the people justify going to another country and killing people that they likely have never even thought about before that day.
Mm-hmm.
So really powerful film, really excellent filmmaking. It's, Kubrick doing Kubrick things. And then
real quick spoilers for the end of Full Metal Jacket. I find that scene at the end when they're marching and singing the Mickey Mouse to be so, one, perfect, but unnerving.
Oh yeah, it's haunting.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
fucking
very good.
city is in flames, and they're MICKEYMOUSE.
Yeah, it's like, just the joviality of these men who are committing these atrocities, the way that they're like, I'm just here to kill, that's all they want. It's,
Let me see your war face.
yeah, very powerful, very powerful. And then the other film that I watched this past night was a 1956 film called A Man Escaped. This is directed by Robert Bresson. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is a French film about a man who is in the French resistance during World War II, and he is arrested by the Germans as they are occupying France. And the movie picks up, he's already arrested. And this is based on a true story of this man who was arrested and then escaped from the prison he was being held in. And just, it's a tight 90. It is, maybe it was an hour 40, but it flies by. It is a procedural about this man figuring out how to escape and doing it, all of the little details. It feels like an escape room in movie form, and the way things get, like, he acquires these tools, builds his means of escape, figures out his means of escape, I should say. Really, really great, with like the added tension of, like, at one point, and this isn't spoiling too much, at one point his cells get switched, and everything he had established up to that point gets thrown out the window. He's starting from scratch again. So really, really great procedural of this man attempting to escape. Flies by. Just good movie. So the 2 things I recommended were, again, Full Metal Jacket and A Man Escaped. CJ already listed The Wire and Minecraft. But CJ, is it time we head over to that podium and find out what we're watching next time?
Yeah, I am a little afraid, to be honest.
Afraid at the idea of us maybe ruining this streak. You've had it for too good for too long.
I feel like that's not something I would do. I feel like it's something you would do. By the way, can I guess what the last movie we said was not Okie Dokie was? Because I think I know.
Sure.
Was it That's My Boy?
So that's the last one that we were unanimous in saying no to.
Okay, so there was one after that where one of us said no and one of us said yes.
Correct.
What was that?
Meet the Feebles, baby.
Okay. Am I misremembering? I thought we did Meet the Feebles before.
So you're conflating that with the fact that we recorded That's My Boy and Meet the Feebles before we did the Bike Riders. Now, keen listeners are probably like, oh, right alongside CJ right now, in that a lot of random things we were saying or alluding to in the post shows of all three of those suddenly making sense in terms of time frame, because we recorded the pre-show for the Bike Riders, then recorded like all of That's My Boy, then I think we watched the Bike Riders, then we did all of Meet the Feebles, and then I think we did the post show of the Bike Riders.
Yes.
So
okay. That
definitely
time frame is super confusing for me. But yes. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah. So
sorry to pull back the curtain, but I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember this at all.
So we've had that streak of 8. Then before that it was Meet the Feebles where I said yes and you said no. Before that was That's My Boy where we both said no.
Okay.
So
I do love that movie though. All right, go ahead.
You do love That's My Boy, or sorry, Meet the Feebles?
No, shut the fuck up.
Did you know, CJ, that True Grit was actually part 1 of our duology on something?
On something? Okay.
Yeah.
What is that something?
In fact, that something is, this was part 1 in our duology on our perceptions of each other being intrinsic to our view and definition of the world.
Oh God. Okay.
Because next time on The Film is Okie Dokie, we
be like being John Malkovich or something. Go ahead.
Are watching Megamind.
Megamind. Okay. I've never seen that.
Hey, that's the point. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear what you know about this one. But yeah, Megamind paired with True Grit as these films often are, you know. Everyone always talks about how I should have fucking done films that came out in 2010. It's okay. They both came out in 2010, but they are also, you know what? That's an addendum. And also came out in 2010. It is part 1 in our duology on our perceptions of each other being intrinsic to our view and definition of the world, and films that came out in 2010.
I gotta tell you, the first one is a lot better than films that came out in 2010, but all right. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I have never seen it. I've never seen anything about it either.
Sweet. Well,
is this the second or second animated movie we've done?
So we did Chicken Run. That counts as animated.
Yep.
And I guess, yeah, I wouldn't consider Meet the Feebles animated.
No, we've done 2 puppet movies and we've done 2.
Well, technically
movies.
3 puppet movies because there's the puppet in That's My Boy.
Mr. Mitty.
Yeah.
What are you saying? All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us today, ladies and germs and NBs. Remember to like us, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you're not inclined to give us 5 stars, if you only give us 4 stars, excuse me, I'm inclined to believe that you are a hater. You can catch the audio companion track for this episode in the description of the episode below. Watch us listen to us wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Watch us on YouTube. Remember to go to your friends, get them to download the podcast. Go to your neighbors, get them to download the podcast. Get your friends, neighbors, kids to download the podcast. They have little fingers. They have a hard time working the devices. Did I miss anything, Tommy?
No, I don't think so. Just again, join our Discord server. Come join the conversation.
Our Discord server is growing all the time, and I have to say, shout out to the Discord server. You guys actually are a unique group of people that do actively chat in there and are really fun. It's really fun to peek in there. and to participate. So thank you guys for participating in the server.
And we are soon going to be strong enough in numbers to where we could execute our own insurrection.
Yes. And you want to get in there soon because Oscar season is coming and we will be doing the Oscar award again.
Great point.
So get in there early, so you know when that happens before anybody else. But I've been CJ.
I've been Tommy.
And this has been The Film is Okie Dokie. Have a good rest of your day. Ta-ta.